A very good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I welcome you all back to my channel, TR DK. As you all know, the main aim of this channel is to guide all the medical professionals and the skilled professionals who would like to consider other countries as an option to work and acquire education from, etc. Now let's talk about how to work as a dentist in Iceland. Now before starting, I would like to say that Iceland is one country where they really are in need of doctors and dentists, and very soon they're going to start their authorization visas and a lot of other perks in order to invite foreign skilled labor, especially dentists, to Iceland. So this is the perfect time to know about Iceland and gather your documentation. So grab your pen and paper or take screenshots and let's go. Now, starting with step 1, recognition of qualifications. So you must apply to the Iceland Directorate of Health for a dental license. So you have to apply there, and of course they will ask for documents. It's more or less the same procedure as we have done in other countries. So your documents will be evaluated by the Faculty of Odontology, University of Iceland. Now let's talk about the documents that you need to submit. It's more or less the same documents as for any other country. And the documents have to be either in English or in the Icelandic language, not in any other third language. Usually our documents in English, so we're pretty good to go. Let's talk about the documents. Your dental degree and transcripts, your internship and house job, license to practice, letter of good standing issued within the last 3 months from your home country, the passport, CV, birth certificate, usually identification documents, and a clean criminal record certificate as well from your home country. Now step 2, the language requirement. So Icelandic language proficiency is B2 to C1 level, and it is mandatory. Just like for the other countries that we have spoken about, it should be B2 to C1 level. So you'll need to prove of passing an Icelandic language test before the full registration. So now your registration is not complete without submitting the language test. So you have to submit it even if you are halfway, you have given all of your documents to the council. You still need to submit this later on. After that, they will do the evaluation and complete it. Now, a small disclaimer here. I have been to Iceland twice, and according to my experience, Iceland is one of the most friendly European countries, Northern European countries. The best thing about Iceland is that almost everybody, in fact, everyone speaks in English there. So if you go there, it's very easy to integrate because everyone speaks in English, and in general, it is a very friendly country. They're very immigrant friendly. They're very foreigner friendly. So you will feel a welcoming vibe in Iceland. So that is the best part about Iceland, that it's very welcoming, and you can feel that once you go there. Step 3, assessment process and decision. Now the Faculty of Odontology decides if your degree is equivalent to Icelandic standards. Usually for non-European dentists that is not the case, so we might have to do additional training, additional exams, etc. So if not fully equivalent, they may require you to do the written theoretical exams, often INBDE or equivalent. We're going to talk about this later. The practical clinical exam in Iceland, and an adaptation period or supervised practice under an Icelandic dentist. Now the good news here is that according to my research, as much as I've seen, there is a chance that they can accept INBDE theoretical exam. And after that, the practical has to be done in Iceland in the Icelandic language. But for the theory, there can be an exemption if you have already done the INBDE. And so this is, of course, an advantage because you have a comparison of giving the exam in English or in Icelandic language. Of course, the theory in English would be lovely and it would be a benefit. Now, of course, in this case, despite of them saying that INBDE is accepted, it's best to write to them and get a written confirmation, and after that proceed with this case. But this is a huge advantage, so I think everybody should avail this chance, especially if you've already done the INBDE. So after the INBDE, if they accept it, they would still like you to give the practical exam in Icelandic language in Iceland. So it's like half-half. The theory could be in English and the practical could be in the Icelandic language. But this is if you do not opt for theory and practical both from Iceland. So this can be a little loophole, as much as I know about it. And now let's talk about the adaptation. Adaptation is generally the 1-year evaluation training that you would do after your theory and your practical is done. Step 4, apply for license. Now once you pass the exams in adaptation and meet the requirements, the Directorate of Health grants a license to practice as a dentist in Iceland. And the application form is right below. Step 5, work and residence permit. Now, as a non-European, if you're not already there on basis of education or marriage or work, then you have to apply for a work permit. So for now, what you have to do is you have to apply for jobs. And once you get a job, your employer is going to send you a work contract and sponsor you, through which you will get a work visa and move to Iceland. So it's more or less the same as you talk about the other European countries.
Now, having said all that, I conclude with this video. Thank you very much. I really hope this video helped, ladies and gentlemen. If you have any questions, you're more than welcome to contact me on my Instagram, and kindly do subscribe to the channel if you find my content interesting and helpful, and I will be back with more interesting and educational videos. Thank you very much and have a good day.